Hello, welcome to my kitchen here at Trails N62. It's that time of year when produce all over the place is beginning to ripen up and get ready to go. And I happen to have some grapes. I've got some grapevines and arbor out there that was here when I bought the place 30 years ago. And some of the vines have died off, some of them are still there. Some years they give grapes, some years they don't. Some years the Japanese beetles get them, some years the fungus gets them. From time to time, when I first started though doing this, I made a lot of grape jelly. We don't eat a lot of jelly. So they're Concord grapes, and I have a few, 3-4 vines left I think out of about 12. So I did get a few grapes this year, and I'm going to take my grapes, and I'm not going to make jelly because like I said, we don't eat a lot of jelly. I'm going to make some grape juice. I'm going to can it up for grape juice. So I'm going to take my grapes. The first thing I do is I pick them off the stem and I wash them. I wash my fruit and vegetables in baking soda. It does a good job. It's clean. It environmentally friendly. Some people use vinegar. That works too, I guess. I don't use it, but I use baking soda. Wash them off. Wash them real good. They're draining now. Then I'm going to put them in a pot on the stove, and we're going to be making grape juice. Now there are several different methods of doing this. I have done it before where the method is that you put the whole grapes into the jar, put boiling water on top of it, and you pressure can it, and then you have to let it set for like 2 weeks before it's ready. Well, I have done that, and that's probably the easiest way to do it. But I wasn't real happy with it that way. So this time I'm going to take the grapes, I'm going to cook them down a little bit, and I'm going to run them through a, normally you put them through a cheesecloth and let them drain. I'm going to try running mine through my sieve on my KitchenAid mixer that I have. So I just got it new, the sieve, the attachment to it, so I'm going to try that. So I'll try something a little different. We'll see how it works. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the pot, and I'm going to just put enough water on them just to cover them. I've got them in my pot here, and as you can see, just barely enough water to cover them. I'm going to put this on high, start heating it up, and I'm going to bring it just as it begins to start to boil, but not let it boil when it just starts. And then I'm going to turn the heat down, let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, somewhere in that range. It just let it simmer for 10 minutes or more, something like that, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Okay, these are just right at boiling, just nearly at boiling, and that's where you want them. Just getting right there, and you can see the water starting to turn purple. So we're going to simmer this for 10 minutes. I set my timer for 10 minutes, and we'll let this simmer for 10 minutes. I'll turn the heat down to medium. So I know this probably wasn't designed for this, but it's working out pretty good. Getting most of the solid stuff out. There's still going to be a little bit. I'm still going to have to run it through a jelly bag to get it clear. I'm using my canning funnel here, kind of give me a wider area to put this in. As I said, I'm pretty sure this wasn't designed for doing grapes like this, so I am running this through a fine sieve here. See, I'm dipping this out of my juice here. And it's still going to be a little wet, and there's still going to be a little juice in there, but not enough for me to worry about. So I'm just going to run it through here and sift it out. Now, how clear you want your grape juice will depend on how much you're going to run it through the cheesecloth, run it through the jelly bag. But by running it through my mixer here, I've got a bunch of it that has some pulp still left in it, but it's real fine pulp, and I don't mind a little pulp in my grape juice. If I was making jelly, it'd be a different story. But the water that I had left over, see, I don't have to worry about straining it as much as the other because it's pretty clear. What I do here is take a fine mesh strainer, because there may be some grapes left in here, and I'll just kind of pour this through the strainer. As you can see, it's pretty clear, and it'll catch some of the bigger stuff. And seeds. So the rest of it is nice grape juice. And then I've got my other jug over here that I'm still running through the fine strainer. Now, I'm not going to say this is the most efficient way or the most proficient way to do this. This is the way that I do it. It works for me. I don't have to have my jelly or my grape juice so clear as this is, that's good. But you look over here at the concentrate, and you can see I had this full, and you can see it's not quite as clear, but it's good enough for me. It's got a little bit of this concentrate in it. To be honest with you, this stuff tastes pretty good. Just get a bite of that. Yeah, that's good. Strong. But this is the way I do it. If you're making jelly, or if you want clear, pristine jelly or grape juice, then your best bet is to do it like it's in all the recipes. You mash it up, you run it through you can run it through a sieve like this if you want to. Run it through a jelly cheesecloth, run it through a jelly bag. Let it drain through the jelly bag or the cheesecloth. Don't squeeze it. Now, if you're making juice and you don't care to get a little bit of that in there, go ahead and squeeze it. But if you squeeze it, it's going to make it cloudy. If you want it clear jelly, you don't squeeze it. It takes a while for it to get through there, and you may have to take and squeeze it through once and then run it through again, and so it may take several times running it through the jelly bag and the cheesecloth in order to get all the liquid out of it and get it clear. But this is going to be good for me. This is what I ran through the sieve. And if I really wanted to, I could run that through a jelly bag. It'd run through pretty quick and pretty clear. But I like a little bit of that pulp in my grape juice. So I'm just going to mix these together and get ready to can this up. Now, once you've strained your juice to be as clear as you want, then you have to decide whether you want to save this for later to make jelly or whether you're going to can it for juice to drink. If you're going to save it for later to make jelly, you can can it as the juice, unsweetened juice, and then later on you can make jelly out of it if you want to. Or you can sweeten it and can it as juice ready to drink right out of the jar, which is what I'm going to do. In order to sweeten it, I'm going to start out and I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar at a time. So I'm going to put about a half a cup of sugar in here. I'm heating it up so it'll dissolve the sugar. Then I'm going to stir it and dissolve the sugar as I go so it's all dissolved. Then I'll taste it till it gets to the sweetness that I want. Okay, so when I get the sugar where I wanted it, I like mine a little tart, so I didn't put a lot of sugar in it. And I've got 5 pints already in one canner, my Nesco electric canner, and I got 5 more pints here. I left an inch head space on them and wiped the rims. And I put the lids on, finger tight on the rings, put them there and there. And here's where you run into a difference of opinion in a lot of places. Some people say that your canning time is going to be 10 minutes, some say 5 minutes, some say 8 minutes, some say longer. I'm going to pressure can mine. The one I found that was actually about pressure canning, because most of these are water baths or steam canning and stuff like that. But some of them are pressure canning, but they're with the whole grapes in the jars with the water. And so I'm going to do mine, what I found, the one I decided to go with. And of course, you have to do your own thing. But I'm going to go 25 minutes for pints and 30 minutes for quarts. That's when I'm going to stay with my recipe. We'll see what it works out, how it works out, and how it does. Now, I do have some of this left over, so I will just put that in the refrigerator and just drink it without any further processing. But I've got these 5. I've got 5 in the one canner already. I'll get these on, and we'll see how they turn out. And there's my 10 pints of grape juice ready to go. And there you have it. Fruit of the vine, grape juice, not wine. And the only thing left now is to taste test. This one's been in the refrigerator, so we'll see how it tastes. Oh, that's good. Now, it probably would help to shake it up. It's going to have a little, I can see in the light, it's going to have a little bit of residue in there, what they call the mother, what it comes from. So it's got a little mother left in there of the grape, so shake it up. I don't mind a little pulp in my grape juice. Nothing better than homemade grape juice. Well, homegrown tomatoes, but alright, that's it. Fruit of the vine. Grape juice, not wine. From my kitchen to yours. From my house to your house. God bless.